Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Ooh, if you're watching in real time, we are the Wednesday after Christmas before New Year. It's coming in a couple of days. Exciting time. We've got a new moon coming at the same time. Well, the day after the New Year. So very powerful. Plus, this is Yule, and so very powerful energy for releasing. So lots to do, lots to celebrate, lots going on, lots of energy. And yeah, let's get to it. So I'm here today with our divine guidance for the week. And what came up this week was action, right? There's action. And what's interesting about action coming up is that, I have been talking for weeks about, we've just entered the winter solstice. We're in that time of, hibernation, going inward, reflecting and, doing all the inner work. And then action comes up and like knee jerk, my mind goes straight to outward action. Oh, wait, what? Do we need to start doing more outward action? That masculine mind, right? No, this is about taking action on doing that inward work. This is about taking action on doing that work that is in alignment right now energetically. So, maybe you've been following along and you've been hearing me say this stuff, but then, it was the holiday and you just kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll get to it in a minute. I'll get to it in a minute. Well, now we're being told it's time to get to it. It's time to do it. And again, like I was saying at the very beginning, this is, New Year, new moon, Yule, the winter solstice just went by. It's a really powerful time to go ahead and take action on that inward work. And, if you're in the Crave Club, the ladies in the Crave Club, what we did was we did some reflecting. We, identified what we were proud of. We identified the stuff that we were celebrating and then the stuff that maybe we wanted to let go of. And, we did a whole thing with it and then kind of pulled it all together to, all right, this is what we're going to work on through the end of the year and get ourselves ready. So sorry, I like kind of got excited talking about that. But I just thought it was so interesting that my monkey mind went immediately to that. Oh, is it time to go outward? No, it's not. It's time to take action on the inward. And for me, that's a really great, what is the word? Not reminder, but just a really great way of shifting the thought. Because I think in this world where we've been programmed to go go go, busy busy busy, taking action is best, when we sit back we feel like we're slacking, right? When we take those breaks, when we do the inward reflecting, we feel like we're being lazy or we're not doing the work or we're just not being productive. We're not being productive. That's such a great word, isn't it? Productive. And that's a big one for me. Like I am always like, oh, how is this productive? And like, making even the fun stuff like to be productive in a way, right? Because, we're homeschooling, I've got a business, right? So everything's got to be productive. And what I'm working on personally is now I'm just letting go of productivity and just letting my inner child play and just have fun and just be. Time to just be, to putter, to water my plants, to just have that time to be present, to be where your feet are. And when we reframe the idea of inner work as taking action on that inner work, sometimes it can help with some of that mental baggage that we take along with, to that activity. Like, oh, well, I am being productive. I am taking action on the inner work, because the inner work is just as important as the outer work. They balance, right? They mesh, they merge, they marry, and they go together beautifully. Sometimes one is a little bit, more than the other, and then we come to balance, right, with our seasons, and then we switch and then come back to balance, right? So right now we're in the season of inner work, and then outer work maybe being a little bit less. And then in the spring, we'll come back to balance. In the summer, that's that outward fire energy will be outward again. And then the inner work will probably be a little bit less. And then in the fall, we come back into balance, right? So it's not equal all the time, but it's just this beautiful flow of energy and balance, and just really coupling the two energies together. And so yeah, for me, thinking of thinking of inward reflection and inward work as, being active inwardly, was just for me a really great way to turn it around and make it, I don't, maybe feel productive. I mean, it is productive, but when I was so caught up in that headspace of I gotta, you know, be doing the next thing, outward, 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 this was a really good way for me to transition, to find that motivation, to find that peace. Because, truly, if you're hoping to be inward and the whole time you're caught up in, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be doing, well, you're shooting all over yourself, and then you're not doing the inward work, right? It's not happening. So neither one is happening at that point. So if we can wrap our head around it, and whatever way works for you. And actually, I would love to hear, what are your insights? What are the ways that you kind of wrap your head around taking the time to go inward? And, when you think about the fact that sometimes it's like, oh, I really need to hit this goal, I really need to, write a lot of times, and I see it all around, the end of year is all about hitting a certain number or a goal, or, and so we tend to like rev up and ramp up at the end of the year, like, oh yeah, just that final, push to the finish line. But quite honestly, being that this energetically is the time to go inward, what might happen is, instead of that really, when I say like that constant action, 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 masculine energy is really the path to burnout. Okay, so we've got to do that inward. And if we took the time to do the inward, especially now when it's such a strong time to do it, what we may find is the ideas, the creativity, the sparks, the ahas come to us, and it gets to be so much easier. Oh, right, easy, yay, right? So imagine, if you will, that you go inward, which is work. I'm sorry, that is work, right? If you've done it, that's work. And so when you do that work, and you just have those ahas, instead of pushing till you have nothing left, and it gets to be easy, and you get to have like maybe the playtime with your family and the playtime for yourself, and it just happens without the push, without the fight. How amazing does that sound? I mean, are you in for that? I am. Okay. So, and this is stuff that I'm going to be really focusing on going into this year. My word is desire. I want to have, just kind of have joy and pleasure and desire in my life. And um, I'm going to give up the fight. At some point along the way, I learned that if something's important to me, I must fight for it. And so that's something I'm putting down as we go into this year. And I'm sure you'll see me waver back and forth with it. And that's part of the journey. And I will talk more on that in another podcast or live. So coming soon, right, to a live or podcast near you, right? So that's where we are with the action. And then our greenwich, right? Our herbs or plants or whatever came up for tomato, which is about love. And what I'm really sensing here is the self-love. So, I just talked a whole lot about the fact that going inward can honestly be more challenging for us than the outward. And I wonder, perhaps maybe that's why we've gotten so caught up in the go, 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 outward, 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 because it's easier. It's tangible. You can see it. You know what I mean? It's like you can check it off, right? So we get so caught up in that, whereas the inward, that's a whole other can of worms, isn't it? And it's more challenging. It's not as tangible. It's like you got to clear the mind when that to-do list is running through it. And you've got to find what works for you, especially when you're programmed to go, go, go. You've been in a society that values go, go, go. When you take a break, they're like slacker, So you've got to not only do this for yourself and overcome, but sometimes you even have to, you know, kind of work around the messages you're receiving, whether they mean to send them to you or not. So I feel like this love is really about self-love and being kind to yourself as you do this, about forgiveness, about, sometimes as we do that inner work, the dark side comes out, right? Some of the darker emotions we might be carrying around in us, resentments, angers, right? Bitterness. We're here to have human experiences. It happens, it's okay. That's the whole point. So love yourself. Okay, thank you for showing me this. I release it now. And here's what I've learned. And it's all part of the story. We're such giving people when it comes to forgiving others. But when it comes to forgiving ourselves, we tend to be a little bit more, conditional than unconditional. So I think this is reminding you to nothing is perfect. Nothing looks perfect. There is no perfect way. That's why we're imperfectly amazing over here, right? There's no perfect way of doing any of this. Everybody has these different things and they share them. I share them, right? And you must pick out what works for you. And I even do that. Like I get coaching and I get, right? I had all kinds of stuff around me. And the way that my coach does things exactly does not work for me, but I take the inspiration like, oh, yes, I like that. And I like this. But for me, I got to do it a little bit different. And that's okay because that's what works for me, right? I'm a different person. We're all individual. And that's why it's so important to hear from you and to be here and to show up. So that's what I've got for today. I hope this is helpful for you. Part of what I'm doing is because this is such an amazing time, like I said, with Yule, the new moon, the new year, I have actually opened up a few slots this week for some readings. I would normally, I basically block out, vacation, holiday weeks, things like that. But I felt a download that, just open up a few to the, so if you are, wanting to play, you want to get some clarity, you want to figure out what it is, maybe you want to release, what it is you want to work on, just get clear. And we have this nice spread. It's more elaborate than we do for the group, the ClariTea parties. And it's gives a lot of insight. It's really amazing. So, I have those available. Message me if you would like to set up a time this week. And of course, they're available at other times, but I feel like this is such a really powerful week and I wanted to make those available. Only a couple slots and I am already getting messages. So, hurry up is basically what I'm saying. If you want to do it, we only have a couple days and we only have like maybe a slot or two left. So, go ahead and reach out and we'll get you set up. Would love to do that for you. So excited for this time. Take that action. Do the stuff you need to do. It doesn't have to be hard, just whatever you're releasing, say, I release. And here we go. Have an amazing week. I will see you next Monday for Imperfectly Amazing, and next Wednesday at 9:30 again for ClariTea with Kaluwa. Sending you so much love, wishing you a happy new year, new moon, and new life. Have a great one. Bye.